Do you find yourself torn between multiple passions, not knowing what to do or which to pursue, unable to focus, constantly feeling overwhelmed, not knowing which of them to prioritize? In this video, I'll share with you guys practical tips, and at the end of the video, I'll include a valuable resource that you can use on a daily basis to help you focus and manage your multiple passions without stress. So let's get into it. Stick around, it's about to get juicy. Hi everyone, Marie here. So if you're watching this video, it probably means you have multiple passions and you don't know what to do. And let's just be honest before we even dive in. Having multiple passions sometimes can be so amazing. I also feel like the utmost curse, right? Constantly pulled in a million directions without ever really feeling like you're accomplishing anything. So I know this passion paralysis can be real and it can leave you feeling so overwhelmed and super frustrated. But what if I told you guys there's a way you can turn your multiple passions into a game that you can actually win? So, like many of you guys, I'm passionate about many things, from entrepreneurship, being a professional makeup artist, being a pro chef, learning how to code, being a project manager, to say the least. Over the years, I've learned valuable strategies that have allowed me to be able to navigate my multiple passions with clarity and focus. So it's only fair that I be sharing some of these strategies today, but we'll do it in a super practical way where you can be able to break it down and apply it on a daily basis. So let me share with you guys a story. There was a time I felt completely lost, just so overwhelmed by the sheer number of interests that I had. I was in school studying law, but I was super passionate at the same time about starting quite a number of my own businesses. And trust me, I've had quite a number of failed and attempted and continuous attempts at entrepreneurship. There was makeup, food, work, you name it. This just resulted in a tug war of basically being pulled in so many different directions. But then I discovered the concept of Ikigai. It's a Japanese term meaning reason for being. It helped me align what I love, what I'm skilled at, what the world needs, and what I can be paid for. This framework literally blew my life open because it gave me the clarity that I needed to know which passions to prioritize and those that could take a backseat. So like I promised you guys, this is going to be a practical video. So we're going to go into diving into the 4 parts of Ikigai. We're gonna deconstruct it, and then I'm basically going to constantly bring up questions that will be for you guys to reflect on and jot down whatever comes up, and then from there apply practical day-to-day activities that you can use in making Ikigai present in your life on a daily basis. So yay, let's get into it. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited too. If you have multiple passions, Ikigai is where you start in figuring out what passions should you even prioritize. So first part of Ikigai is what you love. So think of activities that make you lose track of time. What activities make you excited when you wake up in the morning? Now for the reflective question, I want you guys to list down whatever comes up. What activities make you feel alive and truly happy? Once you've listed down the activities that drive you nuts, let's go to the second part of Ikigai, which is what you're skilled at or what you're good at. So in this section, we're going to basically consider your skills and talents. So to kick this off, I want you guys to start thinking, what are you trained in professionally? List that down. Another thing to consider is, what do people come to you for advice or help with? What do you find yourself naturally excelling at without a lot of effort? You just do it and you're good at it. So now that we figured out part 1, what do we love? What do we wake up in the morning feeling energized about? Part 2, what are you skilled at? And then now let's go to part 3, what the world needs. So when it comes to what the world needs, I want you to start thinking, what passions can you use to contribute or make an impact in other people's lives? What passions do you have that can make an impact in the world or solve world problems? And I know you guys are wondering, oh, world problems, that's so big, so vague. I'm going to give you a little cheat sheet of the grand challenges and the grand opportunities that are currently happening in the world right now. I'll break each down and then you can see try figure out which of your passions align with either of those two, or find passions that marry with those two separate groups. What current challenges are happening in the world right now? I want you to think urbanization, education, healthcare, climate change, governance, job creation. Are there any passions from the things we've listed so far that align with any of those world challenges? Now let's get into global opportunities. These are the pockets of opportunities that are happening across the world right now, regardless of wherever you're at. I'll list them and then try to see if any of your passions align with any of them. So some of the world opportunities right now are agriculture, resource management, wildlife conservation, regional integration, art, design and culture, tourism, and empowerment of women or gender equality. So what of those global opportunities or global challenges are issues that resonate with you deeply? Or if none of those apply to you, that was a cheat sheet, is you can think of this question generally. What issues in the world resonate with you deeply that align with your multiple passions? So we filled part 1, 2, 3, right? Let's go into part 4 of Ikigai, which is what can you be paid for? So in this section, we're going to be identifying the passions that could have potential for financial reward. Do a quick research on businesses or industries related to your passion and see what compensation is like in that area to give you a rough idea of what you could likely be paid for. Reflective question: what can you offer people that they can pay you for? How can you monetize your skills in a way that is authentic and meaningful to you? Now let's get into the practical application on a day-to-day basis of implementing Ikigai in your life, from it being an abstract reflective exercise to now something that you can do and is daily reflection. I want you to spend a few minutes each day journaling on the activities and the feelings that come up with the activities that you do daily. This tiny exercise will help you track what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. Let me give you guys an example. I started a journal routine at the end of each day with some prompts where I basically log the activities that I took part in today and associate them with feelings. So what feelings came up as I was doing those activities? And a shortcut is you can use the Google feelings wheel, because sometimes you may find that your feelings vocabulary could be quite limited. One thing I noticed was in doing this exercise, there are some activities that I would do that would constantly bring up super energetic, happy, joyful feelings. So for me, that was project management. I realized every time I did tasks that related to it, I would feel so energized, so in control, so excited, supercharged. That was a repetitive thing that kept on appearing every single day using my journal daily reflective prompts. So practical tip number 2 for implementing Ikigai on a daily basis in your life is set clear goals. You want to set small achievable goals for each passion that you currently have narrowed down on. So this exercise will basically help you stay super focused and motivated. You can even use the 2-minute rule from Atomic Habits by James Clear. You set tiny little goals that will help you make your tasks super manageable. Practical tip number 3 for implementing Ikigai daily is seeking feedback. So ask for feedback from your friends, your family, your mentors, your colleagues, people who would give you insight about yourself that you're not even aware of. Sometimes you may think you know what you're interested in or what you're good at until you ask people observing you from the outside, and they'll tell you things about yourself that you may actually be surprised. So I'll give you guys a quick example. I got a lot of feedback from family, friends, and colleagues about my project management skills. They never really said it as project management, but people would tell me, oh, you're so good at being organized, or you're so good at breaking down complicated tasks into small manageable pieces where every single person knows exactly how they play into the bigger vision. So this feedback made me realize this is something I should actually pursue fully on a professional level. So I'd really encourage you to seek feedback. You'd be really surprised with what you get back. Isolated and identified the passions that we're really interested in focusing on. And I would really like you to select the passions that have featured in all 4 parts of Ikigai. Now Now let's come down to the second part of the process. So we have our passions that we're interested in taking on. Now let's streamline the focus and work on them. And the concept that helped me do this was Kaizen. There was a time I was constantly spinning my wheels, feeling like I thought I was making progress, and then at the end of the day I realized I'm just chasing my tail, making very minimal increments in any of my passions. And that's where Kaizen really came in. Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy that means continuous improvement, making small incremental changes that add up to significant big results over time. The pattern of Kaizen is small steps. It emphasizes the importance of taking small, manageable steps, like little staircases, once at a time. Instead of trying to change your whole life at once, you make small improvements over time. The reflective question: what small changes can you make today that will help you accomplish some of the goals that you have for your multiple passions? Think about that, write down whatever comes up. Part 2 of Kaizen is consistency. Regular, continuous effort is so much more effective than sporadic bursts of energy. The reflective question: what small, consistent actions, and we mean tiny, consistent actions, can you take to incorporate into your daily routine? So take an example. If you want to lose weight, going to the gym is a really big goal, right? So if you want to be consistent, it would mean maybe instead of saying I'm going to wake up and I'm going to bench press 10 push-ups, what if you woke up a week and just decided 1 push-up a day, next day 2 push-ups a day, like that, and see for a week? So small, consistent efforts. Part 3 of Kaizen is reflection. The beauty of regular reflection is it helps you assess what's working and what needs to be adjusted. Imagine if you constantly just pursued your goals and never really checked back on what was actually happening. How would you really know what you need to tweak or to improve on to be able to become better or even accomplish your goal faster? This continuous feedback loop is super essential for your growth. Reflective question: when was the last time you reevaluated the progress you're making towards your goals? When was the last time you actually made the adjustments from the results of your evaluation? And now for this next section, I'm going to help you guys come up with some practical day-to-day activities that you can use to implement Kaizen. Activity number 1, daily micro goals. This would make them less overwhelming and more achievable. So in this section, I want you guys to break down your larger goals into tiny daily tasks. So let's say, for instance, you want to improve your coding skills. Setting a goal or you want to code every day, at least for 30 minutes, that's breaking it down into a smaller goal. Or say your finances are in a mess and you want to get your finances in order. It would be best to set at least 1 hour every evening after work where you come and start filing all the transactions you've had, or maybe over the weekend. So another practical activity that you can do daily to implement Kaizen in your life is routine building. When you want to create a routine around your multiple passions. So a cheat sheet to routine building that I've really loved and implemented in my own life is something from Atomic Habits, habit stacking. Let's say this week, you write down every single activity that you do from the moment you wake up in the morning. And this is the most insignificant thing. So I wake up, I brush my teeth, I remove my PJs. Make sure you list them in a chronological order. Now you'll find in a week there are activities that keep repeating. Those are subconscious habits that have already been ingrained. So if you want to build a routine, make your activities a habit, is slide a new habit in between 2 that are already subconscious habits. Part 3, practical activity, regular reviews. Basically, set aside time each week to review your progress. So this will help you stay on track and ensure that you're constantly making progress towards achieving the goals that you've set for the passions you've decided to prioritize. On Sundays is when I do my weekly analysis of what worked and what did not work. And I noticed from reviewing my tasks for the whole week, there was time that was being wasted, there were activities that were necessary. And so this helped me readjust my plans for the new coming week and set realistic goals, because I was able to see what needed to be scrapped out or what I could have done better. Practical activity 4, it's a really, really big deal. Celebrate every single small win that you have. Small victories really matter, especially when you're starting something new, because it helps boost your motivation. Once I do something that I thought was difficult for me to do and I finally do it, reward yourself with a little relaxation time, or maybe an episode of a show you're really enjoying. At this point, we've basically narrowed down and identified the key passions we want to prioritize. We've streamlined our focus on how we're going to take on these passions. Now we're going to get into daily management strategies that we'll use to basically help you maintain balance in the passions that you've selected and help you make the most of your time. So management strategy, game changer. Number one, if you have multiple passions, this is what you really need to be using, is the Eisenhower Priority Matrix. The Eisenhower Priority Matrix has 4 quadrants. So these 4 quadrants are supposed to help you categorize your tasks based on urgency and importance. The first quadrant is tasks that are urgent and important, like critical deadlines or super urgent problems that have to be solved that day. So I want you to think of these tasks as tasks that need immediate actions and have significant consequences if they are not completed. The sky will fall if these tasks are not completed. So let's do a reflective exercise. Based on the passions that you've selected, or what tasks related to them fall within this category of urgent and important. Quadrant 2 of the Eisenhower Matrix. These are tasks that are not urgent but important. The tasks in this quadrant will contribute to your long-term goals and personal growth. As a general rule, they don't require immediate action but are super necessary for your long-term success. Reflective exercise. Are you investing enough time in tasks that will help you achieve your long-term goals related to the passions that we've narrowed down on? Quadrant 3 are tasks that are urgent but not important. Tasks that need to be done quickly but do not significantly impact your overall goals. Basically, they can be delegated. So reflective question. Can you delegate or streamline some tasks to free up time for what truly matters to you? If you know there are things that you really struggle with, let's say doing your taxes, it's possible for you to delegate it, use less time trying to figure out the inner workings of the task, and then focus on what truly matters to you. That is smart prioritization. Finally, our last quadrant. These are tasks that are not urgent and they're not important. These tasks in this quadrant, surprise, surprise, are time wasters, so they should either be completely eliminated or minimize the time that you spend on them. Now that we understand what the Eisenhower Matrix is, rule of thumb is you'd wake up in the morning, list all your tasks, and throw each one of them into the categories of the 4 quadrants that matter. However, for me, what I usually do is when I end the day, when I close my day today, I will list down all the tasks that I expect to do tomorrow. As I'm listing them, they'll be thrown into the different categories. That this allows me, once I'm waking up in the morning, my day is already set, knowing how it's going to flow. This helps you minimize confusion, helps you minimize false starts. And remember, we said you're trying to start new habits and a new routine, so you don't want to give yourself too much friction. You want to go to bed knowing already, having a mental map of what tomorrow is going to look like. And finally, the second strategy is time blocking. So think of time blocking as setting specific time periods for particular tasks. When my day would start, I would have already blocked out time into how my day flows. So my weeks are usually divided into 3. I have my morning routine, I have my focus time, and I have my evening routine. So morning routine, evening routine, those are habits. Focus time now are the things that are the passions, the things that I am focusing on. Once time blocking has already happened, I know what's happening in the morning routine, I know what's happening in my focus time, and I know what's happening in the evening. All these tasks have been listed in my Eisenhower Matrix, so I'll know what to focus on. Today, I usually then use the Pomodoro timer. It's how long you're taking to do a particular task. So let's say urgent task, business meeting. If duration for the task is 1 hour, so you use the Pomodoro timer. It will show you, was 1 hour actually taken on that task, or did you take more? And we're not about being rigid. What we want to do is to collect information. Data basically tells us a story. The more you're able to gather a lot of these insights, they let you know, oh, this task probably takes you 2 hours. This task probably takes you 4 hours. All we want is not necessarily to be hard on ourselves for, oh my gosh, I'm taking so long on this task, what's wrong with me? No, what we want to do is, I want to know, okay, I take 2 hours on this task, so that means maybe now I need to move things around so that I prioritize those 2 hours that I'm giving that task. We don't want our lives to become joyless. We just want to be economical with our time and smart with it. I've already mentioned this before, but I'll emphasize on it. Another daily management strategy is setting realistic goals. You cannot say you want to climb a mountain and you've never even gone for a hike. Like, guys, come on. We want to be as realistic as possible and not live in self-denial so that we actually accomplish and live fulfilling the passions that we are prioritizing, right? Setting realistic goals. What this looks like is I'll set the goals for the month and break them down into weekly goals. What does a monthly goal look like being done this week? From the weekly goal, we now create daily tasks for tomorrow. So what that means is we've removed something from being so abstract, like having such a big goal, and making sure that we've translated it down to the day. And what that does is it makes you super accountable, that were you to track that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, you'll realize, oh damn, snap. I could tell you what I was doing on week 1 to help me accomplish my goal for this month. I could tell you what I was doing on week 3 to help me accomplish my goal for this month. At the end of the day, like we said, it's not about being rigid or making sure we're just checking boxes that, yes, I crashed and accomplished my goal. No, it's showing you that you can start relying on yourself. It's building self-belief. It's building self-trust that you know I can count on myself to know that I will show up, because I have shown up every single day for the past 1 week. I have shown up every single day for the past 2 weeks. And guys, by the end of the month, I know I'm going to crush this goal because I believe in myself to actually show up when I say I'm going to show up. And that's actually really what matters if we want to get to a point of managing our multiple passions. Managing multiple passions can be quite challenging, as we've seen, but having tools like the Eisenhower Matrix can make it so much easier. If you're ready to take control of your time and really just focus on what truly matters, I've created a downloadable version of the Eisenhower Matrix with a gamified interface that has 3 options. So you can have the gamified one, you can have the pretty in pink, and the Y2K. So when you download it, it'll come with all these 3, and you can choose whatever you decide to use based on your personality and use it every single day. Like, take action as soon as tomorrow. Find the link in the description below, and I can't wait to hear from you guys how you're using your matrix and how much fun and how easy it's making your life. Remember, small incremental changes can lead to significant improvements in how you focus and manage your multiple passions. Learn from your many experiences and constantly keep moving forward. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm really, really rooting for you guys, my multiple passion peeps out there. Your journey is so unique, and so are those diverse passions that you have. Embrace them and let them guide you towards a simpler and more productive life. So thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you guys found this video helpful and super inspiring, and most important, actionable. Keep rewatching it if you need to remind yourself the things that you've learned or the things that you can use as often as you would like to. Don't forget to leave a comment below, because I'd really love to engage with you guys, pick your minds, know what you're going through and what's going on when it comes to your multiple passions, and most importantly, how you're managing them.